What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about the importance of keeping out your hybrid battery air filter clean or replacing the filter altogether. Now, if you're a Toyota and Lexus hybrid owner out there, if you own a hybrid vehicle and that hybrid battery needs to stay cool. So they have a blower motor that kind of blows air to make sure it stays nice and cool, because if it gets hot, it will reduce the life of the battery, or push comes to shove, if it gets too hot, say goodbye to your battery, and now you need to come up with a lot of money to replace it. So we don't want that. So we have a blower motor in there that's designed to blow air in there and keep it cool at all time. Well, that blower motor gets the air from the interior of the vehicle. So there's always going to be an opening or air inlet for the blower motor to suck up the air and push it through the battery to keep it nice and cool. And on the third generation Toyota Prius, you'll normally find the air inlet on the right rear side of the door, right along this area right here, right by this pillar. And that's the air inlet. So the concept is the blower motor will suck up the air through there, and then the air will go through some ducts, and then the ducts will route the air to the hybrid battery and then keeping it cool. Ultimately, that's the ideal, right? So what happened? What can go wrong? Well, there are three things I want to advise you guys to be mindful of if you own one of these vehicles. It doesn't matter if it's a Toyota Prius, Toyota Highlander hybrid, these new Tundra hybrids, Tacoma hybrid, any hybrid vehicle, Lexus, it doesn't matter. It will have a hybrid battery, and that hybrid battery will need to stay cool. So therefore, it will have some kind of blower motor with an air inlet inside of your car to take the cabin air and to help cool the battery down. So here's three things you guys want to be mindful of if you own one of these vehicles. The first thing, if you have pets, when you have pets, oh man, that's the quickest way to clog up your hybrid battery air filter. I see it all the time. Customer comes in, say, hey, I got this check hybrid message come on the dash, or I had this hybrid battery maintenance message required, came up on the dash. I have no idea what's going on. The car has low mileage. Is there something serious going on? That's the issue right there. The battery is most likely getting too hot because that filter gets clogged. If you have a lot of pets roaming around inside of the vehicle, the hair from the pets and the hair and the fur, all that stuff gets trapped in the filter. And then if that filter gets clogged, not enough airflow is being pulled through, and then the efficiency for the blower motor to reduce the temperature of the hybrid battery inside of your car reduces dramatically. So remember, the hybrid battery is getting cooled from the air coming from inside your cabin of the vehicle. The hybrid battery air filter is in my opinion, I would say it's a lot more important than an engine air filter or your AC filter inside of your dash for your air conditioning. Why? Because you can go a few miles without your engine air filter being replaced. You're supposed to do it at 30,000 miles, but if you reach 40, 50,000, 60, the engine will still run. Same goes for your AC filter. If you neglect to change it, yeah, you might start to get foul smells inside your car, but your AC will still work and it'll still be fine. But this hybrid battery filter is more important than those two filters that I mentioned. So if it gets too hot, we talked about it, it will reduce the life dramatically. Battery's supposed to stay at a regular operating temperature. So first thing is, if you have pets, change that hybrid battery filter often. That's one. The second thing is that I see that causes issues if you're a smoker. If you're a smoker and you smoke a lot in your car, that can also clog the hybrid battery air filter, and you would want to change it out frequently. Normally, I would recommend you do it every 30,000 miles while you're changing out your air filter, your cabin filter. Just change the hybrid battery filter as well if you have a hybrid vehicle. So we talked about if you have pets and if you're a smoker. Now, the third thing that I see is customers will often travel. Let's just say if you have a Prius and you're traveling, you're moving, to New York or whatever, you stuff the inside of the vehicle with bags, you got the trunk loaded up and you got a lot of bags inside of the car. Well, sometimes you position your bags and clothes in a spot where that inlet is for the hybrid battery. So you ultimately ended up clogging the hybrid battery, airflow inlet yourself, because you have so much stuff, you're moving, I get it, the car is loaded with stuff, you barely could see out your rearview mirror. Again, that temperature starts climbing up, now you're in the middle of your road trip, you get this message on the dash, check hybrid battery maintenance, whatever it might be. That's not a situation you want to find yourself in. I actually had a customer. I was talking to the advisor. He's like, "Hey, Junior, I have a customer on the phone, and she's getting this message saying check hybrid battery or hybrid battery maintenance lights coming on." And I was kind of trying to help her troubleshoot it over the phone. And I'm asking her, "Hey, where are you at? Are you traveling? Are you nearby a dealer?" "No, I'm on the road. I'm on a road trip right now." I said, "Okay. How many miles is in the car?" It was about like 35,000 miles. I'm like, that's strange for a Prius to already have a bad hybrid battery that low mileage. So I asked her, "Do you have any pets?" "Oh yeah, I'm traveling with my two dogs." I'm like, "Oh, you have stuff loaded in the car?" "Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm actually in the process of moving. So we're taking a little, doing a little sightseeing and I'm moving, And I'm like, "Okay, that's your problem right there." So the customer had two of those three things that I mentioned. Not only did they have pets in the car, the pet hair, the dog hair, and all that stuff just flying around, probably clogging the air filter, but she also stated that she's in the process of moving, so I'm sure the vehicle's loaded up, and I was 100% positive that that air inlet for the battery cooling blower motor was probably clogged up and not able to get sufficient airflow. So after I talked to her, she said, "Yeah, that's exactly what's going on." So I said, "Okay, pull over, let it cool down for a little bit, expose that area and you should be good to go." And she was really happy about it. But I see this time and time over and over again. So if you're a Toyota hybrid owner, those are the three things you want to be mindful of. Keep in mind you want to change out your hybrid battery filter, but if you fall into one of those three things, make sure you do it a lot sooner than 30,000 miles. Remember, one, if you have pets and you travel with your pets a lot in the car, change it out sooner. You'll find the air filter tends to be clogged a lot sooner than 30,000 miles. Second, if you're a smoker, change it out a lot more frequently as well, because all that smoke and all that stuff will kind of deteriorate the air filter and it will reduce its capability to allow sufficient airflow to pass through. And third, if you're traveling, if you're moving, going on a road trip, be mindful of where that inlet is for that blower motor and make sure you leave it exposed so airflow can be pulled through by the blower motor and it helps keep your hybrid battery cooled down. The good news is the hybrid battery air filters are super cheap. They're like 16 bucks. And Toyota and Lexus makes it so easy to change out yourself that you don't even need to come to the dealer to do it. You don't have to worry about, getting electrocuted or it being located somewhere where it's risky for you to do it yourself. Usually 9 out of 10 times it's a couple push pins that's holding the panel or the cover on, and then behind the cover you'll find the battery hybrid battery air filter. So in this example, we have a fourth generation Toyota Prius, and I'm going to demonstrate to you where the hybrid battery filter is located on this particular model. Like I said, this is the fourth gen Toyota Prius. This is where it's located on this model, but for other models, it may be somewhere else, but the concept is the same. Blower motor, hybrid battery, it needs some kind of an air inlet to pull the air through so it can help keep the battery cooled down. So on the fourth gen Toyota Prius, this is the hybrid battery filter right here. As you can see, it looks just like a regular air filter, very cheap. And this is the model Prius that we're going to be replacing it on. So you want to get to the right rear door area. And it helps if you move the front seat up a little bit to give you more room. And right alongside of this floorboard right here, you're going to see a little cover with a little push pin, a little Phillips screw push style push pin that if you have a small Phillips or a pocket screwdriver, you can just unscrew it and you'll be able to pop it out real easy. So now as you see the importance of knowing where the air inlet is located. Because imagine if you're traveling and you have a bunch of bags down here just blocking up the air inlet flow for the blower motor to keep the battery cooled down. So you want to just remove this little plastic trim panel right here, and then you can see all the debris on the camera screen just flying up. And that's your hybrid battery air filter. It's not a big filter, it's fairly small, and that's the blower motor right there. As you can see, this setup is different from the third generation Toyota Prius we were looking at earlier on the first example. And usually the hybrid battery air filter is usually clipped on or, secured by some clips or some tabs, but fairly easy to change. And if you look down in between the grooves, you can see a lot of dirt. This one is not so bad. The color of the cabin, the hybrid battery filter itself, because they're similar color to the dust and debris, it doesn't look too bad, but there's a lot of dust in there. So this car was just doing it as a preventative maintenance. So it's not, covered up with hair or anything like that. This customer is thinking smart and already having it replaced before it gets too late. And here you just kind of snap them on and secure them to these tabs that's most likely is on the plastic trim that it's mounted on anyway. And like I said, this is so easy. And the filter is about what, $16, give or take. Just go to your Toyota dealership, ask, hey, I'm here for a hybrid battery filter. Can I get one? And they will know what you're talking about. But same thing, if the pet hair gets clogged in there, then airflow will be reduced and your battery will overheat. If you smoke in the car, that air filter as well will get clogged. Airflow will be reduced, and now you have a hybrid battery light on, and you have all kinds of issues. So here we have the blower motor, and you want to make sure that stays nice and clean and keeps those ducts clean. And you don't want pet hair ultimately inside of your hybrid battery. So on the 3rd generation Toyota Prius, the air inlet was located near the door area in the right rear door, but on the 4th gen Toyota Prius, as you can see, it's right there at the bottom of the seat. And to reinstall, you just kind of line up the tabs right there at the base of the seat itself, and then everything just snaps right back into place. This job is so easy, a caveman can do it. So literally, if I wasn't trying to make a video, I would be able to change this out in 30 seconds. 30 seconds in and out, and job's done. For a $16 hybrid battery filter, you can't beat that. $16 hybrid battery filter versus replacing a hybrid battery that costs maybe $4,000, $5,000. Which one would you guys rather choose? The answer is pretty simple and obvious. As a preventative maintenance, do this every 30K, 1,000 miles just to be safe. But if you have pets, you're going on a long trip, or if you're a heavy smoker and you smoke a lot in the car, be mindful of where that air inlet is at or located, and be sure to check and change your hybrid battery filter regularly. And if you find one of those 3 things to be true, don't wait till 30,000 miles to change it. Do it even sooner. Just check it every month or something. Every month, just get in your car, check that hybrid battery filter out. And if it's bad or dirty, replace it. Now, on the 3rd generation Toyota Prius, as you can see, that air inlet was open. It didn't come with a battery filter. So instead, what Toyota provides is it's like an add-on. So it's like an extra screening to make sure no debris gets through, because that air inlet was allowing too much debris and pollen, hair, and all that stuff to just flow through. It was designed to be an air inlet opening for the blower motor, but as you can see, the opening in here is just way too big. Stuff can easily fly through. So there's an extra screening available that you can apply here as well. That's all I got for you guys today. Hope you find this video informative. And if you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching.